Hello and welcome everyone to Immigration Talk Show. I'm your host Sam and you're watching Daily Immigration News, your go-to source for up-to-date immigration news, where we deliver the latest breaking headlines collected from authentic news sources. And now, let's get into today's headlines. First up, Tom Homan accuses FBI of leaking ICE raid plans amid Los Angeles immigration crackdown. Trump renames Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, worries immigrant communities. Four FEMA employees fired over $59 million paid to NYC hotels for housing migrants. Trump's border czar pushes for more funds to intensify immigration crackdown. Indian origin man sentenced to 25 years for drunk driving crash that killed two teens in New York. Venezuela sends 190 migrants back from US, hinting at better relations. Religious groups sue Trump administration over immigration arrest at places of worship. Debate over immigration policies and racial bias grows as US faces new protests. ICE data sparks concerns over misleading information and fear tactics. So these were some of the headlines, and now let's get into the details. Tom Homan accuses FBI of leaking ICE raid plans amid Los Angeles immigration crackdown. Tom Homan, President Trump's border czar, recently accused the FBI of leaking details about planned ICE raids in Los Angeles. These raids were aimed at undocumented immigrants, and Homan said the leaks not only endangered the operation but also put officers' lives at risk. He emphasized that sharing this information gives criminals time to prepare and increase the danger to law enforcement during the raids. Homan also shared that the Deputy Attorney General has started a criminal investigation into the leaks, and they are committed to holding those responsible accountable. The raids originally set for later this month targeted individuals with removal orders. However, due to the leaks, it is unclear whether the Trump administration will proceed with the operation. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem condemned the FBI, calling for strict actions against those who were involved in compromising the operation's security. Trump renames Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, worries immigrant communities. President Donald Trump has renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and this change is now seen on Apple and Google Maps. The US Geographic Names Information System made it official, with Microsoft updating the name on its map. While symbolic, this change has raised concerns among immigrant communities, especially those from Mexico. Immigration advocates worry this move could increase tensions between the US and Mexico and can also impact immigrants dealing with already strict US immigration policies. For now, US users will see Gulf of America, while the rest of the world may see both names. Four FEMA employees fired over $59 million paid to NYC hotels for housing migrants. Four FEMA employees have been fired for paying $59 million to luxury hotels in New York City to house migrants, according to the DHS. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency uncovered the payments, calling them egregious. FEMA's chief financial officer and three others were involved. DHS announced the firings, saying the payments were made without approval and violated trust. FEMA has now stopped sending payments to New York City for housing migrants. Musk also criticized the spending, saying the money was meant for disaster relief and not luxury hotels. DHS is working to get the money back. Trump's border czar pushes for more funds to intensify immigration crackdown. President Trump's border czar Tom Homan and budget chief Russell Vought are urging Senate Republicans for $175 billion to expand immigration enforcement. They say more funds are crucial to support ICE agents, detention beds, and deportation efforts. For immigrants, this push could lead to increased ICE raids, stricter enforcement, and more deportations. The urgency for funds signals that the government may ramp up its crackdown, potentially impacting immigrant communities. Staying informed and aware of these changes is vital for those who are seeking legal assistance. Indian origin man sentenced to 25 years for drunk driving crash that killed two teens in New York. Amandeep Singh, a 36-year-old Indian origin construction executive, has been sentenced to 8.5 to 25 years in prison for causing a drunk driving crash that killed two teenagers in New York. The crash happened in 2023 when Singh, driving at 150 km per hour while drunk and on drugs, hit a car carrying 14-year-olds Ethan Falkowitz and Drew Hasenbay. Both boys died in the accident. Singh later apologized in court, calling his actions selfish and saying he should have been the one to die. He pledged guilty and will serve up to 25 years in prison. Venezuela sends 190 migrants back from US, hinting at better relations. Venezuela sent two planes to bring 190 deported migrants back from the US on February 10, 2025. This could signal improving ties between the two nations after years of strained relations. The move follows talks led by US President Trump's envoy Richard Grenell. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro expressed hope for a new beginning with Washington despite ongoing tensions. Venezuelan media covered the return, highlighting the effort for peace and cooperation as the US seeks solution to the migration crisis. Religious groups sue Trump administration over immigration arrest at places of worship. In a new lawsuit, over 2 dozen Christian and Jewish religious groups are challenging a Trump administration policy that allows immigration agents to arrest people at places of worship. These groups argue that the policy creates fear, making it harder for people to attend services and also participate in church programs. The lawsuit filed in Washington says the policy violates religious freedom by preventing churches from fully helping their communities, especially the undocumented individuals. The Department of Homeland Security and its immigration agencies are named as defendants, but they have yet to respond to the case. Debate over immigration policies and racial bias grows as US faces new protest. Recent immigration policies in the US are facing criticism for perpetuating racial bias. Activists argue that these policies echo historic laws that excluded people of color, pointing to Trump era actions and current practices. Critics say black and brown immigrants are disproportionately affected, while policies favor certain groups like European refugees. Supporters argue these policies ensure national security. Protests in cities like Denver call for fairer immigration laws and an end to racial profiling. The future of US immigration policies remains a key issue in shaping the nation's future. From the 1790 Naturalization Act, which only allowed free white persons to become citizens, to the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, US immigration policies have long favored white immigrants. While racial quotas were removed in 1965, critics claim current enforcement still disproportionately affects non white communities. For example, black immigrants represent 7% of the undocumented population, but 20% of those facing deportation. ICE data sparks concerns over misleading information and fear tactics. ICE has arrested over 8,200 people from January 22 to 31, 2025 as part of the Trump's administration push for mass deportation. While the agency shares daily arrest figures on social media, advocates warn the data lacks transparency, particularly on criminal convictions. Without clear details, it's unclear if ICE is targeting serious offenders as promised. Experts say this publicity is part of a broader effort to create fear in immigrant communities, with ICE using military style tactics and raids. Advocates argue these actions are causing people to avoid work or school and also hurting local economies. So, these were some of the news update. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Immigration Talk Show. See you next time.